build this up as a plan, to help us remember to do this, to commit some goals to paper, and to have an action plan of how we might build up this area of our life. Great, you're back. So grab your pad. Of course you could do this on your phone or computer, or you could do this just mentally if you don't have that available. So we're going to start with tying it, linking it to values again. So at the top, think about the values this is in service of. Now, in a way, everything we've talked about here is a value in many ways. So we've got, savoring, curiosity, gratitude, engagement, or focus, or concentration. They are all values. They're all qualities of action that we can choose to engage in and bring to our life and our behavior. Self-care, self-compassion, these are all values here that are relevant. So, or find your own words, or use the ones from that list that really stand out to you. Think about the valued parts of your life you want to savor. So your family, relationships, your work, aspects of work, your health and personal development, and your play or recreation, or the parts of your life you want to savor there. And then under curiosity practice, think about an aspect of your life you want to bring curiosity to. So it could just be the practices we're doing, or it could be, an aspect of learning, or a relationship you want to be more curious with, or something you do, an activity you do. So think about where you could try to engage some curiosity. It could be when you experience a difficult feeling, anxiety or depression, you're going to really curiously investigate that. And you might note down, these qualities of novelty, detail, and change, setting and implementation intention around curiosity, and asking questions, as these ways of training it. So we want to have something down to practice curiosity with. Then we're going to move into savoring. So savoring, we want to choose one activity that we're going to practice savoring each day, so that we actively and consciously do this savoring practice. So as we do the savoring practice, we want to mindfully engage with it. We want to notice what we're feeling in our body, let our mind dance back and forth, use a bit of narration if that is helpful, so acknowledging what we're enjoying and describing it and naming it in our mind. And I think, if you pay attention, you often do this. Like, I notice if I eat a really delicious meal and I'm paying attention to my mind is saying, oh, this is lovely, this is beautiful, this is, delicious. In other areas of your life, you might notice that, when you have you've been on a roller coaster, you've really enjoyed it, you go, wow, that was amazing, and you're sort of saying that inside. So we often use language to savor, exciting things, calming, soothing things. Warm bath, you might notice you're saying, oh, I feel so relaxed, this is so good, when we are enjoying it. So we can actively use that self-talk to nurture that. So we want to pick an activity that we're going to do that savoring practice with. So examples are, I do it with my first cup of coffee, and maybe my second and third if I'm feeling particularly sleep deprived because the little one's been up in the night. So savoring something like that. A warm shower is a great savoring practice, or a bath. Any aspect of your self-care that's kind of relaxing. Could be savoring walk. I like to do a savoring walk, so you go outside and you really spend some proportion of your walk savoring what you're seeing and what you're engaging, the warm sun on your face if it's a nice day. Obviously we're changing season now, so it might be more the change of the season, the crisp cool air, and the beautiful color changing of the leaves, and all those sorts of details. So we can savor for part of a walk. And I also like a gratitude walk. So savoring a walk and a gratitude walk, where you walk and you savor, or you do some gratitude practice as you're walking around. Other things you could do is savoring food. Pick a meal that you want to take some time and savor. Savor a conversation or a relationship. Savor a hobby. Another thing I think is really good is savoring after you've done some exercise. So after you've done, a brisk walk and you've got your heart rate up, or if you run or cycle, or you do any sort of strength training, physical things, yoga, afterwards we'll have a subtle buzz of endorphins and endocannabinoids and other positive neurotransmitters. And it will do stuff to our body. The problem is it's often very subtle, and sometimes it's outweighed by painful, difficult aches and tiredness and negative things it triggers in our mind. But if we can tune into the subtle, warm, positive glow of exercise, then it becomes much easier to do it because we actually enjoy the process. So you could savor that. Other parts of your health practice, so diet, exercise, sleep, you can savor relaxing in bed, and savor when you wake up and you're well rested. And anything playful, any hobby, creative activity, playful activity, kids savor a lot. If you watch little ones as they're doing stuff, they're often, they'll be in flow often, they're absorbed and engaged in it, and then they'll be in savoring. You can see they're really basking in the joy of stuff. And, we were all like that at some point. So being sort of childlike, we can get it back. So note down something you're going to savor on a daily basis from those categories. You could note down 3 things or more if you want to, but at least have one activity you're going to savor on a daily basis. And you can savor living your values. This is a really good thing. You in acceptance and commitment therapy, we talk about sprinkling and savoring your values. So putting those values into your action and then savoring the response. So if I want to be kind in a day, I actively go, okay, I want to bring kindness to my relationships and the way I treat myself today. And then as you're doing that, you savor, I'm living my values here, I'm doing what matters to me, and it's intrinsically meaningful and enjoyable when we do that. So we bring more attention to that. It's going to have a positive feedback loop and really improve, and we're going to enjoy stuff even more. So hopefully everyone's got a savoring activity. You could alternate this. You could start with, coffee or tea in the morning, and then you could change to a shower, and you can move around, and variety is good. Human brains like variety and different stimulus, different things coming in, so we can change it. And the idea is if we do this as a practice daily, it will implicitly start to come into everything a bit more, like any moment. And people, I think a lot of people who have very high well-being do this naturally. They go from one pleasant experience to the next, just savoring it throughout their day. And I've worked with people like this. I've normally people like this don't often come to therapy, but occasionally I've had someone who does have high well-being, and maybe some tragedy has struck, or they've been unlucky, or they just have one very specific problem in one area of their life. And then when you explore these other areas, they don't need to actively cultivate this. They're doing it already. It's a big part of how they maintain their well-being. So you might be one of those people, and if you are, just keep doing it, and you probably don't even need to train it if it is very a default thing. But if you struggle with this, doing this one practice daily is going to be a good way to cultivate it. And it's something I do, I found really useful. My mind doesn't naturally do this. Like, I struggled with my mental health when I was younger, and different experiences experiences of anxiety and depression, and actually learning to connect with positive emotions was a really important thing for me in my recovery, and something that I feel a lot of value in still, and I do all these practices myself and find them really useful. Finally, we're going to pick a gratitude practice. So we're going to think, which gratitude practice do we want to bring into life? So I'll give you a few examples. Listen as we go through them and see which one might resonate for you. So there we did the 3 good things. So you could do appreciating 3 good things in your life. You think through, people, opportunities, resources, experiences, skills, capacities in yourself, self-appreciation, anything you like, really. And we want to vary it, do different things, and go for detail. Gratitude, it can go a bit on autopilot if we're always saying the same things and we're not trying to find novelty and detail in it. Curiosity, really. So doing 3 good things, either written or in your mind, and finding the detail. So, I'm grateful for, the chance to meet this person that I care about because we have fun. They've been there for me over the years. They really support me. So we're trying to get some detail to why we're grateful for that thing. And that's true of all these practices. We want to do that. Another one we can do, one I like to do at night, is the gratitude alphabet. So as you are falling asleep at night, you go A to Z, expressing gratitude for something beginning with that letter, or a sentence beginning with that letter, or it can just be that letter in a word for things like X, because you're not going to come up with lots of different words beginning with X, or other letters. So, and really, we're trying to get variety again, a different list each day. We can do a bit of detail. You can go grateful for animals, like, my pet that I love, or I'm grateful for animals. The time I saw that beautiful lion on a safari, or whatever, we're going for detail on each of the thing we say I'm grateful for. And that's quite a long list. If you go all the way through, you will eventually fall asleep. Rarely do people get the whole way through the alphabet. If you do, you can start again and do it again. Gratitude at the ending. So as things end, you can express gratitude. So as one meeting or activity, or, you go from one place to another, expressing gratitude for the thing you've just done. Gratitude at the ending is really powerful. And we can also just journal, a gratitude journal more broadly, and journal as many things as we want. We can think about things in our life we're grateful for, and imagine if we didn't have them. That can really trigger gratitude. Important people in our life, imagine if they weren't in our life. So thinking about everything they add and give to our life. Even, our senses, being able to see, hear, smell, taste, touch. I know people have experienced COVID in the group, so you may have lost taste at times. And as soon as you lose one of these senses, you really appreciate them so much more. It's like you don't appreciate the lack of pain in your teeth until you get toothache. So we can do that reflection. We can think, what it would be like to not have this thing in my life, to connect with gratitude, and really be playful with it and make it your own. So think about the practices I've said there and choose one of them. If you're in doubt, just go for the 3 good things. And plan to do that. So what time of day are you going to do it? Are you going to do it in the morning, lunchtime, last thing at night? When are you going to do the gratitude practice?